It's the Pool Fanatic Show featuring Tony Caruso. Tony is the Pool Fanatic. It's Orlando Luxury Pools, TC Water features, and that's everything from a pool to a fountain to a pond, you name it. If it's water, Tony can do it, and backyard enhancements as well. And don't forget the Pool Fanatic Pool Service Company. We've got guests in the studio today, but more than that, we've got open lines. So if you have a question about your pool, yeah, it's pool season already. It's ready to start going. You got Mother's Day coming up, and after that, Memorial Day. We're there. 844-220-0965. That's 844-220-0965, or text Tony to 21232 on your smartphone, 21232. Tony.
How you doing, Rob?
Doing good.
Who's watching the kids today, Rob?
Well, I got to tell you, remember about 4 years ago we did the story here that one of the largest amusement parks in the world cut off they leave your kids off here, have to be 14 and over.
Yeah.
Because they were sick of being babysitters.
Oh, yeah.
Guess what I discovered today?
What did you discover today?
Because of my heavy workload, very seldom am I in a big box store on a weekend. Well, there's a really big box store right down the street from here.
How big was the box?
The big.
The big box. The big box.
210,000 square foot.
Really?
With the big W on it and all that kind of nonsense.
Huh.
The parents were dropping their kids off in the toy section and going over and doing their grocery shopping.
Don't get me started on the big box store.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Kids.
I'm going, who's watching the kids, Mom and Dad?
Well, you know what's really funny? When the kids go to the camping section, first they go over into homewares. They grab a couple pillows and some blankets. They go over to the sporting goods and go camping in the tents they got set up. What do you think of that, Rob? Happens all the time, man. This is good stuff, man. So amazing things you can do in the big box store. But, Rob, it was a pretty good week this week. And here's what's really cool. Monday, this Monday through Thursday was free swim lessons at the YMCA.
That's
and
right.
I was hanging out with my good buddy Rowdy Gaines, and Colleen Salvage come over, and Ben Evans from American Pools and Spas come over. We were down at Lake Nona, and they were doing 50 kids every 30 minutes. That's right, Rob. I'm sitting over here in your chair today, so I'm going to pump my chair up a little bit, sit a little higher. There we go.
So people ought to be asking me the questions.
Yeah, can I? I'm going to interview. I'm going to interview our special guest here. We'll get to it in a second. But they were for the entire week as of Monday before they started. They were at their max limit per day. They were doing 400 kids a day. They did that for 4 days. So they did 1,600 kids just at that YMCA. And so Rowdy starts off his speech, basically letting everybody know how important it is to swim. And that he didn't start swimming to his age 17. And obviously, you know what happened after that. It took off for him, and he was able to do well. But statistically wise, and he keeps on bringing it up, we talked about this on the show a while back, and we know there is a cure for drowning. And that cure is to learn to swim.
Yeah.
Well, in order to learn to swim, you need to be around a body of water of some type. And Sean, my guest today is Sean King from Florida Leak Locator. Sean, tell everybody hi.
Hello there.
All right, so we're going to get back to you in a second, but you're going to kind of relate to this too, Sean. We talked about 60% of color people can't swim, people of color. That was 70% of people with color don't swim. 60% of Hispanics don't swim, and 40% of Caucasians don't swim, or don't know how to swim. And it boils down to, access to water. That's really the key. In Florida, we have lots of water. We think we have a lot of shoreline here at about 2,000 miles of shoreline. Alaska has 10,000, but who's going swimming in Alaska, right? Well, here in Florida, we can swim a little bit longer than most people. The surf temperature this morning was 71, and on the East Coast, my pool today is 86.
Nice.
86.
The lake's 83.
The lake's 83. So we know this for sure, Sean. Lakes don't typically leak. They are evaporating water, and that's that steam coming off the pool or off the body of water in the morning when it's a little cooler out, and the humidity is on the opposite end of absorbing moisture up. But, Sean, our special guest today is Sean King from Florida Leak Locator. I feel like I'm a director over here, Rob, in your corner, man. I mean,
kind of neat over there.
I got some pictures, some what's this, a Roman emperor here? There you go.
It's all craziness.
Yeah. So I know I'm in a big dog seat sitting over here, but Sean, one of the biggest things we talk about is there's 1.2 million pools in Florida and about 38,000 commercial pools in Florida, and a big business portion of your business is residential swimming pools. Is that correct?
That's right.
All right, and then you're into the commercial portion, correct, well?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you're finding that what's your commercial pool ratio service versus residential? 8 out of 10 on residential?
Numbers wise, we're doing probably about 30% are commercials and 70% are the residences.
So a question on the commercial side, pretty much see every commercial pool leaking water?
Whenever we go out, that's pretty much a rule of thumb is that it will be leaking. The question is just how much.
Yeah, how much, and then what that expense is, and when that expense relates to the cost of operation as well.
Yeah.
Sean, I thought about a little story of a pool that you guys went out and looked at down in Haines City. And it happened to be for a friend of mine who was actually in a couple of my children's rallies a couple years ago, and we call him the Senator. And if you Google the Senator, you'll find out what role he played in the Cannonball Run and stuff like that. But a very interesting guy. Spent some time with him last week. Going to spend a little more time tonight as well with some friends of mine from a different charity rally that I've done. But Sean, you sent me down there and looked at the pool and determined that the pool had multiple leaks. Mm-hmm. And this is what I'm going to say here kind of goes back to taking care of your home. Some things that you should do when you take care of your home on a yearly basis. Obviously, you should pressure wash your house. You should caulk all your windows and your jambs and your fascia boards. And you want to do that to protect your investment. But with some things, and you're going to love this one here, what do people fail to do on grout-wise? They don't inspect the grout on the tile. They think it's bulletproof forever and ever and ever. Right. What do you think about that, Sean?
Well, that's one of those things. It's all about maintenance, and the small problems can become very big problems, and they see it. They'll see it starting to go away, but if they don't address it, then it can be a really big problem.
Well, it goes back to I heard something really cool today, Rob. What you pay is the value you receive.
Oh, I like that.
What you pay is the value you receive. Sean, when you have a pool at home, and the Pool Fanatic pool service takes care of your swimming pool, and hopefully we're doing a great job. And it's okay. Well. It's okay to say if we are, but we should be treating your pool just like it's ours. But I got a question for you. When you go in your personal swimming pool, do you look at the grout lines and stuff like that when you're in your pool? I know you're in the business, but just overall view of your deck and your pool. Do you pay attention to that at all, or do you just go swimming?
It's one of those things you just go swim in.
Yeah. But, while you're in the pool, it's free. Just to kind of look around, and you don't have to clean your towel because the Pool Fanatic Pool Service cleans your towel for you, so you don't have to worry about that. But one of the things that we always did before I was in the pool service business, I was still a contractor, but when I got in the pool, I kind of touched the towel because we get in there and clean the towel periodically, and I'd inspect my grout joints. But one of the hardest grout joint to inspect is what's below water. Mm-hmm. Well, the pool you sent me on was a mosaic-style tile. Mm-hmm. And it had more pool putty, not applied by Florida Leak Locator. It had more pool putty on the tile, and the failures were in the grout lines. And give me your opinion of what the permanent patch is for a pool putty, or is that a permanent patch?
Oh, well, the pool putty, the purpose of that is just temporarily to take care of little things, but not to do the whole pool.
Okay, so what you did is you defined the location, somewhat easy to find in the future. Is that correct?
Yes, right.
Okay, so do you instruct the customers that they need to get this grouted in the future?
We do. Okay,
but they fail to do so, only because they think that pool putty is a resolution to the problem.
Correct.
Okay, so pool putty, in my experience, and you're using a whole lot more than I do because you're out there finding the problem and then proposing potentially to what the permanent fix is.
Right.
Is pool putty's good for about 6 months.
Yep.
Kind of agree with that?
That's a good estimation.
But there's variables in there.
Exactly. Chemicals.
There you go. So if the Pool Fanatic Pool Service was taking care of your pool, you might get 9 months out of that pool putty because we're keeping that water where it's balanced, but it's not a permanent fix. So anyhow, when I go out to this job, I look at it and the towel is totally cracked up. It's got pool putty everywhere. And you know what? There was even more putty around the skimmer, which wasn't yours, by the way. This was stuff that had been there 2, 3, 4 years ago. And, what happens is when swimming pools are built, the skimmer is a weak link in the whole project. You kind of agree with me because, it's not gunnited into the shell. And it's really not a great idea to gunnite the skimmer to the shell because if you don't get it perfectly straight and perfectly level, you're stuck with the skimmer at the position it's at that day.
Right.
But what we do is when we set our skimmers and we pour our ribbon footers, we pour the skimmer in concrete and lock it to the pool shell. Mm-hmm. So therefore and we peel the Steel Tex paper off the back, and that allows for a good bond on the backside as well. So which brings me to the next question. I go to a waterfall leak. Thanks very much for the lead. I go out to a waterfall leak, and check this out, Rob. They fixed the leak from the outside.
What?
They fixed the leak from the outside. So let's do it like this. A swimming pool is a boat in reverse.
Yeah.
So the pool holds water, and if it leaks, it's going to push out. If you have a boat, the water is outside wanting to push in. So if you want to repair a leak in a boat, you want to fix the outside so it don't go inside. If you have a leak in a pool, you fix it from the inside so it doesn't go to the outside. Make sense?
Very much.
So go to this waterfall, leaking like a sieve. I'm talking, it leaks so bad we'd lose an inch of water an hour in this pool. Okay?
Oh, wow.
But it's silicone from the backside. You guys went out there and told the homeowner what needed to be done. So okay, here we go now. This is the next part. We take the top of the waterfall apart, and it's all cement-based inside. It had moved. It didn't adhere correctly initially. So we disassemble the top side, pull all the silicone off the backside, and do the repair. So before we put the cap on the top, the homeowner says, dude, do not put the top rock back on. I have to go to the big box store. What are you going to go to the big box store? Going to get me some Flex Seal. What? You're going to get some Flex Seal. I mean, the stuff the guy that cuts a hole in the bottom of the boat and seals the screen door in and it doesn't sink. I'm thinking, okay, I don't know about this. I have no clue if this Flex Seal material is any good for water at all. Now, I've seen them spray buckets and all that and gutters and okay, but this is a different deal. This is in chemistry all the time, and water's constantly going to be eroding it. Sean, would you recommend Flex Seal for?
That's not one of the recommendations we make.
Okay, our recommendation didn't fly, by the way. Our recommendation was to let me put a waterproofing membrane on the inside of it and then set the cap right. He said, no, I got this stuff. I'm going to spray it in here. So we're going to go back. We went back on Friday and put the cap back on the top. And, hey, y'all fire it up on Monday and tell me how it does. So 407-282-4911. Visit us at TC Water Features. Like us on Facebook, where amazing things can happen in your backyard. Sean, what is your contact information?
You can reach us for leak locators at 844-4MY-LEAK. 844-4MY-LEAK.
I like this. Back to you, Rob.
All right, very good. When we come back, I've got to ask Sean this. All right, you're going to school, you're taking all the high school, you go to college, you're taking all the college, and then suddenly you decide that you're going to make a whole lot of money and save a lot of problems by being a leak locator. How does that happen? We'll be back right here. It's the Pool Fanatic Show, News 96.5. Here it is. It is the Pool Fanatic Show. You got problems with your pool? You're wondering what's going on? Are you thinking of automating your pool? There you go. So you wouldn't have to worry about it. A lot of things you could be doing. You could be saving a lot of money by just simply changing out your pool pump. It'll pay back within months. It's a big, big deal. Call us right now at 844-220-0965. That's 844-220-0965. We also have Sean here from Florida Leak Locators. If you are losing water in your pool and you're wondering what's going on, is a neighbor dog really drinking that much water out of the pool? I don't think so. So anyway, you need to call Florida Leak Locators. But let me go back to that. I think there's a lot of people out there with inquiring minds want to know, when did you make a decision to become a very professional and the best in the business leak locator? Because water's never leaking where you think it is.
No, it's not. It's one of those things I just always wanted to do, something that I could do well and by doing good. And this is something that's very scary for many families or companies that have a leak going on. When you first hear you have a pool leak, you're thinking, oh my gosh, do I have to fill this thing in with dirt or what's going on next? And typically these things are resolved very easily. 95% of the jobs we go out to are resolved immediately that day, and for a cost, right around $250, which is very affordable. But people will spend months and sometimes even years of adding water to their pool,
costing a lot of money.
All of the chemicals they go through. We've had gone out to places, they have two hoses in their pool just to keep up, but yet all the chemicals are going out, and we're able to go in there, take care of them, resolve it, and they're very happy that, okay, should have done it sooner.
One follow-up. Tony Caruso and his family take great pride in all of the joints meeting correctly, everything being installed right. When you're out on a job,
yes,
and you sense a leak, or they say, I'm losing water, they did the bucket test, and how many times do you find shoddy workmanship just in piping screwed everything up?
We see it more often than we should, but I can certainly attest and tell you that we don't see that when we're dealing with Tony's pools. We just
right.
don't.
Well, which goes to another one that Sean sent me on. This is you give me the hard ones, dude. You send me this broken spa jet under the deck.
Oh,
Okay. So I go see Bill probably 5 or 6 months ago, and I look at he's telling me about this leak. I'm giving him a price to renovate his pool, right? And Bill's a real name. I could use a fake name. I could use Larry. So I go to Bill's house. I look at it, give him a price on a renovation. He goes, I got a spa jet that's broken, but I don't know exactly where it is. And Florida Leak Locator come out and told me it's either in this one or right in between. So he was not feeling well for about a month or so, and he got feeling better. And as time progressed and it warmed up, he goes out and he opens up the hole. The beautiful thing was there was only 1.5 foot of deck behind the spa. And there was 2 side entry planters to the side of the spa. So he goes in and he excavates the planter and he excavates behind the spa, which was can only go 2 feet behind the spa because it had a concrete curb. So really got a limited little area to work in. And sure enough, man, there it was. Somebody had climbed under that deck and pull puttied the Venturi tee on the outside. What did we just talk about? You can't fix a leak from the outside. No. Got to fix it from the inside. So here I am sending my youngest brother, Mike, over there. I said, Mike, you're going to have to contort, man. I mean, you're going to have to really contort your body to get under the spa. Typical jets are about 21 inches from the top of the deck. You have 3.5 inches of cantilever. The deck jet should be about 18, 17 inches down from the top. Overall, about 21 inches down. You're in about 18 inches of water, or 14 inches average depth of the jet. So I send Mikey down there. He's got to go in there, and he's cutting sideways with one hand, using the other hand because it's wearing. When you're not in a normal position, your arms get tired. So he cuts this thing out and reconfigures the whole process, puts it all back together. Now, it's basically working one-handed, and it's hard working one-handed when you're smelling MEK. Even with a respirator on, you can't make the fumes totally go away. MEK, by the way, and all the components that put glues and cleaners together are bad for your kidney. They're bad for your liver. So we try to work as much as we can in ventilated areas to eliminate the fume intrusion into the body, because you'll get a buzz. I'm plain and simple. You'll get high on it. That's the way it is. But kids, don't listen to that. That's using a product to make a job happen. So anyhow, Mikey gets it all done, puts it all back together. Do not backfill the hole. Homeowner said, I'll take care of it. Happy. Homeowner fills the spa up that night, holds water. Homeowner fires the spa up next day, holds water. Homeowner backfills the hole. Guess what we're ready to do? Renovate the pool. So thanks very much for that very difficult one, Sean. You found the problem. You located it within. You were probably within about 4 or 5 inches, one side or the other, exactly where it was. And we went in there and repaired it, and he's happy as can be. Wow. So now we're on to radio listener, Pool Fanatic listener. Every meeting last week, every single meeting last week was from the radio. Every single meeting I had.
Really?
Yes, sir. And 2 of them were for special needs kids. 2 of them.
Very cool.
And it's the reason is because we listen to what needs to be. We listen to what needs to happen. We know what we can do to help special needs kids get into body water because it helps them swim. And swimming is amazing therapy. It's zero impact. 407-282-4911. Please visit us at TC Water Features. Like us on Facebook. We all know that amazing things can happen in your backyard. Sean, how do they get a hold of you?
They can either find us at leakteam.com or they can call us at 844-4MyLeak.
What do you think of that? We're going to come back and do some more of this, right, Rob?
I love domains. You know that. Hey, we're going to be here taking your phone calls right after news, traffic, and weather. You need to call about your pool. Get a good answer. 844-220-0965. 844-220-0965. Text us 21232. 21232. We'll be back.
We have to have one of our great listeners on today. This is a little bit tribute to you because I know you're going to be hitting the road real soon. And when you do, life's going to be a whole new ball game, because when you change the game in the middle of the game, it's all time to step back up again. So this is for my good friend Cosmos. Hope you're listening, my friend. Love your sunsets. Do not stop sending them amazing sunsets, because, Rob, you get those as well as I do.
I sure do.
Because you know what's beautiful about being on Earth? Beautiful sunrises, beautiful days, beautiful sunsets, beautiful evening, happy wife, happy life. Couldn't be any better.
Wow.
You know, I am so blessed to be surrounded by amazing people, and it starts with my family. And it's going to end with my family, but I'm surrounded by great people like you guys right here. I'm associated with Sean from Florida Leak Locator, amazing sponsor of the Pool Fanatic. Rob, you're a blessing to be on. I appreciate every time you pick me out in your Facebook post to the awesome shows that you're going to do. I'm honored that you picked me out and put my name up there, and I truly appreciate that. So,
what was I doing up at 4:30 in the morning putting that on Facebook?
I have no clue, but I'd recommend maybe get a little bit more shut eye. But you're always. You're always bright-haired, bright-eyed, and bushy-tailed. But you know what, Rob? Every time you take a step, I know it's Rob coming now.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
36 years in this building. I love this place.
You do, huh?
We've been doing this for a long time.
I came in Tuesday, and I re-recorded a commercial for my great friends at Hayward. And, you know, Billy he makes me sound like he makes me sound amazing because we come in and record this commercial. And, you know, I try to put a lot of ups and downs in my voice because that's how I get so excited about some things, and I kind of get down about the bad things, but I try to lift everybody back up. So that's what we are, and how I sound on the radio is how I am. And you believe this or not, Rob? The person I met on Monday said, "That's not you on the radio." I said, "You know what? I don't change my voice.
Same guy.
This is my voice. I don't change my voice for anybody. There is no off the air voice, and there's no on the air voice." So, Sean, we talk about when pools leak as bad as they do. You got dual hoses in a pool.
Yes.
Okay. We know full blast.
Full blast.
Hose is good for about 18 gallons a minute out of a hose.
Yep.
You throw in 2 hoses at 36 gallons a minute. We'll pick 40 as a rough number. That's 2,400 gallons an hour someone's putting in their pool.
Yep.
Might as well stop, right?
Yep.
Get it fixed.
That's right.
Gosh.
Okay. So when you have a pool that leaks as bad as that, or any pool that leaks that you have to put water in, you're now a CPC guy. You're now a certified pool contractor. Mm-hmm. And you can do all the stuff that I can do mostly because the CPC license has different scales to it. My CPC license, I can do anything. Your CPC license has some limitations on it, but not many, but a few. But one of the things that you see about, and you guys don't jump in green pools, do you?
No, we don't.
No.
We went to one on Friday. We had to turn around from just because it was green, and we can't go down, dive, and do what we do well if the pool is cloudy and murky and we can't see, or it's not healthy to get into.
The healthy part's the biggest key.
Yeah.
You know, why would they expect you to go into a green pool or even let their kids go into a green pool? There's no reason to go in a green pool. So the bottom line is, what I'm trying to get at is when you start adding water to a pool, you have to rebalance your chemicals.
Right.
And if you don't rebalance your chemicals, all you're doing is keeping me employed. Yeah. You agree with that?
Yes, that's right.
I mean, you're going to eat the finish up. I did 7 or 8 stain treats this week. Had great luck with every single one of them. I went out to Al's house on Tuesday, actually on Monday, gave him a proposal to fix his pump and get the stains out of his pool. Got all the stains out of his pool in 2 days. Got his pump up and running. And you know what, Sean? When people pipes, you guys have to touch equipment all the time. Okay. The main drain, the skimmer, and the vacuum line were 2 feet above the top of the pump. And the pump was on grade.
Okay.
So what's that do? It creates the pump that has to work harder to get the water into the pump. Mm-hmm. So ultimately what it's going to do, it's going to overheat, swell fittings, and it's not going to prime. So we go in there and cut the plumbing down, get it all down to direct suction, or not direction, but equal vacuum into the pump, therefore it runs. So when you go out, customer asked me the other day, another one I went to, one more leak I went on, another waterfall leak. Uh-huh. It was a big rock waterfall, leaked, pumped, but it didn't use silicone. They didn't use Flex Seal to fix it, but it leaked. So we took it apart, put it all back together, and I didn't run it for 2 days. The customer lived in South Florida. They came back up. I said, run the waterfall, let it run for 6 or 8 hours, the normal run cycle, and tell me how your pool does. And he did. He said, pool held water. And then he turned it off for a week. And he said, well, I added about 1.5 inches of water to my pool this week. Lives on the lake, Lake County. Is that normal? 1.5 inches a week?
No.
Mm-hmm. Little high?
That's high.
How high would that be, in your opinion?
About a half inch too much.
Okay, so this,
small.
I guess one of the things to explain is it's on a lake.
Yeah.
It's screened and closed, but it's not fenced.
Right.
I take all of those things in consideration. If it was not screened and closed on a lake and not fenced, right, I would think maybe a little bit more water potential, depending on, is it an east-facing lake, a west-facing lake? I kind of look at that lateral wind. So 1.5 inches, you're thinking more of 1 inch would be a good number.
Right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you. I look at so I said, did you turn the waterfall off? He goes, yes, I did. If I lost 1.5 inches, I said, probably borderline.
Yeah.
Did you swim? Now, Rob said that the dog couldn't lick out a whole lot of water in the pool. Well, hang on. How big's the dog?
He's a big dog.
Is it a 200-pound dog, or is it a 3-pound dog?
No, about as big as one of your retrievers.
There you go. Well, that's probably
he takes more water out of the pool by just walking out of the pool.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a 2-gallon exit. We talk about, okay, so that's kind of where the bucket test comes in. Yeah. I'm kind of one of those guys that I'll turn the pump off. I'll mark the inside of the skimmer because I value my buckets, by the way. I don't have a lot of buckets to give away. So I'll mark the inside of the skimmer. That's the way I do it. Where you would do it, you would do the bucket test.
Right.
So I think my way works just as well too, but the bucket test is a good telltale as well. Okay. So when I go in and mark a pool and look at it, I'm making that evaluation too. So fixing the leak and resolving the problem, you guys do all our leak detections. We don't call anybody. I mean, I got your number down, 8444 my leak. So I try to transcribe that into what the numbers are. So, but we'll just do it this way. It's 8444 my leak. That's the easy way to do it. I'll figure it out when I have to actually dial it. Actually, you're on speed dial. So anyhow, not from me. You're not on speed dial because we have issues with pools. You're on speed dial because I have customers looking for leak detection. Right. You work 7 days a week?
You know what? We really respect work-life balance for our technicians.
Okay.
So they're working Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All days? You worked 8, 10, 12 hours a day? Try to get that route done for the day?
We start off at 7 in the morning.
Okay.
And you usually wrap up, you got to wrap up about 5 or 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your guys are getting 50 hours a week easy?
Yeah.
Pools, I mean, your pool, if it's going to leak, very rarely, Rob, very rarely are you going to have a pool that just starts leaking right now, right this minute. It can usually wait till Monday. And, Sean, do you get people call you and say, hey, man, we have a major leak, all of a sudden sprung a big leak. Can you come out quickly?
We do, certainly. Yeah.
Okay, and you'll respond to that maybe a little bit quicker than somebody that has, well, I think my pool's leaking kind of deal. Will you go out and take a major leak?
If there's someone that has something major going on, just because we know something's being washed away, we want to get to it sooner, then we may expedite it and take it as a priority. But for the most part,
well, one of the things I always tell people, if you think your pool's leaking, go to your equipment pad and look at your equipment pad first and see what's leaking over there.
Sure.
If you got equipment leaking, just shut the system down. We're good for 2 or 3 days. But if it's something that you can't see, why you continue to feed the problem? You're talking about 2 hoses in a pool nonstop.
Right.
Okay. I'd really kind of say at this point, just shut the hose off. And then before you guys come back out to do a leak, fill the pool up because you want the pool to be full to normal operating level before you get there, correct?
That's right.
Right. Absolutely. So why are you going to continue to fill water? Rob, I did an autofill last week. I replaced an autofill built by another company. And you know what the water usage was for last month?
What's that?
147,000 gallons of water.
See, I'd be worried, and I'm sure you and Sean have probably seen this, but just as a layman, I would think that if that's an underground leak, that you're starting to undermine the whole earth around it, and you're about to cause a sinkhole somewhere.
We kind of look at a couple different ways, Rob. I mean, look at a couple different ways. If the ground percolates, and you're running 6 or 8 or 10 gallons of water a minute, it's pretty much going to percolate. Period.
Okay.
Now, if the ground doesn't percolate, water's going to find the least path of resistance at that point, and it might exit into an area that doesn't have a good compaction, and you're leading exactly what you say.
You start washing away the sub earth here is sand.
This particular neighborhood was all orange groves, so it's that real fine sandy material that just you know what? And then they had it was a liner waterfall. And the liner was kicked off to the side. So guess what? That was another contributing factor. Not only did the autofill broken, but the liner was kicked over. She kind of the pool service guys taking care of the pool and the fountain and the waterfall. All he had to do is walk over to the autofill, real simple, lift the float up, see if the water shut off. And if it shuts off, he could readjust the autofill. He never did. Nor did he decide to move 3 rock back and see if the water was going over the liner. So 2 contributing factors. A water bill of 147,000 gallons in the city of Orlando.
Gosh.
You want to know what the water bill was?
Ugh.
I'm not going to tell you. suspense because they'll work with them. They found out the problem.
Yeah, I will tell you this, because we're licensed, when we do find and fix the leak, we can actually provide a water loss letter so that families or companies can get money back. Yeah. Whether it be for sewer or the escalated rates they pay for the additional water.
Yeah, we do water letters when we resurface your swimming pool or build you a new swimming pool. Great week this week. We started three new swimming pools. We finished up 4 or 5 renovated swimming pools. I'm into that rush. I've got the July 4th rush coming up. I've got Memorial Day rush coming up. By the way, we don't rush. We do it right.
Right.
What you pay is what the value you receive, right?
That's right. Buy the best and only cry once.
I don't cry no more, because I'll only buy it one time. I love that commercial I see on TV in the mornings is how many times have you replaced this? How many times have you replaced this? Well, I'll tell you what. We started putting in the new Hayward Pro Series pumps and salt systems, stuff that the consumers can't buy, and I'm offering you a better warranty on that. And the reason, all right, I got a good one. Customer goes to the big box store on the pool side, buys an Aquarite. You'll love this. Buys an Aquarite. Doesn't pay the company to put it in, says, I'll put it in. Goes out, mounts the panel, wires it up, puts the cell in, turns it on, poof. Burns it up. Oh. Guess who got a phone call Monday? Patrick. My good friend Patrick at Hayward. They want to warrant it. They want Hayward to warrant the consumer's mistake. So here's what the consumer did. It was wired it was wired 200 it was pegged on 120 volts. They wired it 240 volts. Burnt the board up. Why should the manufacturer warrant that product? Because it was put in incorrectly. That's why you pay a professional to do the work. You're a leak locator guy. They're your professional. 407-282-4911. Please visit at tcwaterfeatures.com. Like us on Facebook where amazing things can happen in your backyard. And Sean, how do they get a hold of you?
We can be reached at 844-4MY-LEAK or our website's leakteam.com.
All right, we'll be back, and when we come back, we have at least one caller on the line, and he's been building a garden today, Mr. Green Jeans. That's what I'm going to call him. Anyway, we'll be back. If you have a question about your swimming pool, your fountain, your backyard features, whatever, we may even have time to put Tony through the test we haven't asked him in weeks. What all does a Pool Fanatic company do? It's amazing. We'll be back. We have 5 minutes to go before news, traffic, and weather. If you've got a question about a leak in your pool, now is the time to call. We have Florida Leak Locators live on phones right now at 844-220-0965. There he is, Tony. What do you think?
All right, we have a caller on the line, do we not?
We do.
Hey, Cosmo. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Doing great. You see a little tribute I sent you? Was that your little smoke signal to give us a call?
Yeah, it worked. I heard that. I thought, I get a call.
There you go. So I see you're planting a garden out back. Is that right?
What are you doing?
Yeah, I built a little garden box for Deanna, and I already had some cherry tomato plants, and I put them in it, and she's going to put some of her own things in it while I'm gone, and when I get back, it should be producing vegetables.
Okay, so I have a question for you. What kind of light show are you going to put out there on your garden at night?
Well, it will be sleeping at night.
So. It will be sleeping at night. You're not going to kind of enhance it. The beauty of living up in Alaska in the areas where you get a lot of sun. You get 24 hours. Actually, about 22 hours up where my in-laws live. So they would grow cabbage 4 or 5 feet tall. So you're not looking to grow 3-pound tomatoes, right, Cosmo? Just the small stuff.
No, just the small stuff.
Just the small stuff. So, hey, how's life treating you here lately? Are you getting ready to go back on the road soon?
Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow, and that's what I wanted to call in and say hi and goodbye. I mean, I'll be calling you from overseas somewhere, as I usually do.
Where are you going first?
I leave here for Portugal.
There you go, Portugal. So you're gonna, a week or so in Portugal, in the Spain, in the area of Hispaniola, or not Hispaniola, but Spain.
Yeah, we're in Lisbon for a week. Our first show is May 7th, and then we're off to Seville, Spain, and then I think we'll go to France from there and work our way over the continent. So
we kind of side talked about you off the air right here. The lighting show was going to go on no matter what happens, and you're going to put your amazing touch with it. What's the band been up to? Has the band been obviously making their adjustments on before they go on the road?
Well, they're in rehearsal right now with Axl Rose, of course, who's taken over for Brian. And they're in Lisbon in a studio rehearsing, just getting the show tightened up as it can be before the first show.
Okay, are you excited to go back?
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, it's been nice being home for about a month, but yeah, it'll be great to get back to the boys.
All right. So, how long is your overseas tour for?
This one goes to about middle of June, and then we're supposed to start, and I think the postponed dates they're going to try to do after that. Because Guns N' Roses goes, back out in June after AC/DC finishes, and
right.
And then when they're done, I think the plan is for him to come back to AC/DC and we finish up the American leg. But we'll see. Nothing. I've not seen any dates for the U.S. Postponement yet.
So you're about a month out of the country, then you come back to the country. Is that correct?
Correct.
Nice. I know it's been nice to have off. I've enjoyed all the photos you sent. So guess what we're going to do now is we're going to get some more worldwide sunrises and sunsets. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right.
Food pictures.
There you well, you know what? You eat food. I'm kind of like, where does this guy get gourmet food like this in all the places you go? But obviously, you know the right places and the right people to hang out with. So all right, how's your pool doing? How's your app treating you on your pool?
Fantastic. I worked in the garden today and then jumped in my swim trunks and cooled off in my pool, and I happily to report I have no leak.
There you go. Who built your pool, Cosmo?
Well, that's because you built the pool.
There you go. And if there was an issue, I'd obviously tell you I'd hire my good friend Sean at a Florida Leak Locator. But Cosmo, does your pool look inviting?
Oh my God, it sure does. I mean, every morning I get up and walk out here, and both my wife and I just. We now spend so much time out here, in our area, in our new living space, I call it. It's
there you
fantastic.
Go. Well, your pool looks inviting. I know not only because you have an amazing service provider making sure your Hayward equipment is doing its job, but the reason you have a sparkly pool is because you're making pure chlorine and you're adjusting pH at the same time, and those in the end result's going to give you that sparkling looking water.
It amazes me every day. It is right on the money. It just blows my mind. Even if it goes off a little bit for whatever reason, like the oak we've been having, it goes right back to where it should be on its own.
Yeah, and it should be. And I had a customer call me. I said, man, I got 3 alarms today. I said, wait a second here. They'll clear themselves. If it's an ORP or a flow sensor, it'll clear itself. So just read what the alarm code says, and you can make the adjustment. Now, if it's pH timeout because it couldn't adjust the pH in your pool in 120 minutes, first thing you want to check is your alkalinity. Your alkalinity has to be high, and you already know that, Cosmo. If you start with an alkalinity 120, all it can do is drift. It can only drift down. It's never going to drift up. Salt can only drift down. Stabilizer can only drift down. pH can only drift up, but the ejector brings the pH down. Therefore, it gives you that awesome-looking water. And inviting-looking water is what for you, Cosmo? What's that inviting water do for you?
Makes me want to jump in.
Man, I'll tell you. See, I'm glad you read the script before we got on the air today, man. I appreciate that. Hey, this show's almost over, Cosmo. I want to wish you and the band and all the people that you travel with a very, very safe, a very enjoyable tour. And please call us while you're on the road. Look forward to it.
I will do. Thanks, guys. You take care. I'll see you when I get back.
Look forward to it as well. 407-282-4911. Please visit us at TC Water Features. Like us on Facebook, where amazing things can happen in your backyard. Real quick, Sean, what's your contact info?
8444-MY-LEAK.
All right, everybody, and Cosmo can check his pool even from Portugal or wherever he's going. All right, we are going to take a break. He'll come back as we continue to Ask the Expert.